Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, No More Secrets. As always, I'm your niece, Katie Albrecht.
And I'm Mary Albrecht, and we just spent a whole bunch of time laughing with our guest that we have on. Everybody say hello to Sharon. Sharon, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Sharon Stoll, and did I pronounce that right?
Mhm.
I met Sharon, gosh, I think it was like October or something, and she runs a facility management service, and I met her through the company that's renting my vacation rental up in Lake Geneva. And so she reached out, and now she is basically the property manager up there. But we've discovered we have so much in common, and we just started laughing right from the start. I think I brought a bottle of wine the first time I met you, and that's sort of been our thing. And then she's into horses and into just everything that, like writing. You started a book, and we have a book and all that. So anyway,
Right.
so come to find, Sharon has quite the shit show to share. Sharon's shit show sharing session. Sharon's shit show sharing
Say that
session.
10 times fast.
We like Sharon.
So, yeah, Sharon sharing.
Sharon.
Sharon. I'm sharing with Sharon. But anyway, so I read you. It was great that you allowed me to read a couple chapters of your book that you're started and working on. And it was like where to start, with your shit show. Or shenanigans. Right. Which way do we want to put
Shenanigans are fun. Shit show is shit show. Yeah.
Shenanigan Shit Show.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
All in one.
All in one.
Sharon Shenanigan Shit Show. Woo!
it? Sharing session.
Oh my God.
Sharing.
No, that's too much.
No, then you get in the sharing. Yeah. No.
You start getting the sure.
Can you say
Sure.
shoulder massage?
No, I can't, Mary. You know I can't.
Try it.
Shoulder massage. I can't.
Shoulder.
Those SH sounds.
Yeah.
Like,
Altogether.
okay, the state that Boston is in. How do you say it?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Okay. All right then.
Can't say it, right?
If I really think about it, I can like sound it out. So Massachusetts.
Okay.
But I have to slow it down. Otherwise, it just comes out as like, shut.
What about shoulder massage slowed down?
Or even just starting
The
it.
happy ending.
Shoulder massage. There.
Yay!
Yes, I can say it slowly. Shoulder massage.
Do Massachusetts again.
No. Massachusetts.
It sounds like two shits.
It
know.
sounds like two shits.
Massive two shits. That's what I say. That's where Boston is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was fun. Anyway, so
Day after St. Patty's Day, everybody. That's when we're filming.
Woo! Sharon stayed home like a good girl. Katie and I did not. But anyway, so what we decided to start with the time leading up to your brother's death when you were in high school. Would you say that was really the start of a lot of the, the problems in, like, not with you personally, but like with the family dynamics and things like that, just because it became sort of the all-encompassing thing to have a sick sibling like that, or was it already kind of a
that was
shit
kind of
show
a
before that?
It was a shit show before that. It was that was kind of the curtain call.
Got it.
Right,
Yeah, because your
in
dad.
the
Yeah,
middle.
why don't you explain your dad was mean, alcoholic,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. He
And
was
how many kids, and just explain your whole family dynamic.
okay.
The structure.
Well, here it goes. Sorry, folks, but here it comes. All right. So, grew up down in Isles and on Clara Drive, and I grew up next to Normal, which is a real thing because Normal was the street right next door.
Oh, that's
right,
funny.
Yeah, right next to it. So I grew up next to Normal my entire life.
Literally next to normal. Okay.
Literally next to Normal
I
my
remember you saying that now.
right. Yeah. So it's and then it became figuratively and literally.
It just
figuratively.
happened
was
to
just
fit your life, yeah.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it mold my life? I'm not sure, but anyhow. So grew up there. Had 5 siblings, mom, dad. Dad was a raging alcoholic. He was like the beer drinker, and then he went to vodka, and and he was the very typical abusive, to my mom and the older kids, not my sisters who, but
And where do you fit in the 5?
I'm number 4. So Sue, Bill, Mike, me, Tim, and Terry.
So are you still considered a middle child at that point?
I am now because Mike decided to scram because he couldn't handle hack being a middle child. That's what I say.
So that's why he got cancer.
Right. He couldn't hack it.
He couldn't hack it.
Being a middle child, so.
I've heard that's tough being a middle child.
Well, and I'm not really, Steve. Anyway.
Yeah. It's a tough dynamic.
Anyway, so your dad. So your dad was he a good worker? Like, did he provide well for the family? Your dad?
Yeah, he was a sprinkler fitter.
Okay.
Actually worked on the Sears Tower when it was being built, and
Wow.
just cool things like that. You know,
Yeah.
and there was like, think that's love of buildings and the trades. That's where all of that comes from with my brothers and my dad, and
Okay.
and now my son, and are all in the trades, and
Yeah, and you too.
I like that you still call it the Sears Tower because
there is no other name.
there's no
for it.
other name for
There
it.
is no
Absolutely.
other name
We're in
for it.
agreement here. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm from Wisconsin, but it was a Sears Tower. Yeah.
It is still, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then they name all these, fields, different things too. Cellular field. What the hell is that?
Oh,
Rosemont Horizon is what?
Rose-
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even.
yeah.
All
They
these
changed
different-
Miller Park now in Wisconsin too.
No.
To
Which
what?
I don't even know.
Just doesn't make sense.
Some sort of insurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
insurance or something.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah,
American.
American.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Millerfield. It's Miller Park. So, anyways,
And then, so what about your mom? What did she work outside the home, or what did she
Yeah,
do?
she was a nurse, and
that's
also
right, yeah.
I mean, she worked 3 jobs, kind of coming through life like that. But so was mom and dad. They got divorced when I was about 9, and then I think that was about 78-ish, 1978.
Okay.
For those that are younger than
not the age. Yeah.
the age,
The year.
the year. I'm 66. Nope, born in 66. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that. Anyhow, so
That helps.
yeah, so about 78-ish. I think they got divorced when I was about 9, and then Mike got sick not too long after that.
Yeah, because he was 10 when they got, maybe
No,
11.
I was 9. He was like 10 and a half-ish or something like that. They used to call us Irish twins, but we were more like 14 months apart.
That's
Or
like, you
15
and
months, like it
Sarah.
wasn't. So we weren't exactly
Still-
Irish twins, but
It's still close. Yeah.
yeah, it was close in age. We're all
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so,
close like that.
so he got sick then about age 14?
Yeah,
that sound
14,
about right?
14 and a half. Mm-hmm.
And what happened? Like, what were the signs? How
He
did this
was-
all come about?
He was the rest of us are a little on the shorter side. He was the tall, skinny kid, and so going through puberty, he was just tall and skinny, and the doctors were kind of writing it off like that, and then my mom's like, this is just not right. Like he was getting
Really thin?
really thin,
Okay.
and she found a lump on his neck, and
She was a
insisted
nurse.
that
Yeah.
insisted that he,
Okay.
get that biopsied or whatever they did back in the day, and came up with lymphoma.
Lymphoma. And then went into treatment?
Yeah, almost instantly. Yeah, he was in chemo and radiation for basically the 2.5 years that he survived. It was on and off. It was like, and I was trying to remember. Those are some of the things I was trying to remember. It was like 3 weeks on and 1 week off, or was it 1 week on and 3 weeks off? But it was constant, and then it was radiation and, things like that. He was in and out of the hospital. He'd be in the hospital for a couple weeks at a time because he'd get so dehydrated or sick and, things like that. So,
Did it consume your mom? In terms
Absolutely.
Of, like, just
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
emotions at the time as well? And
at
trying
the
to
time, yeah, she was at work, and at that point, my dad was already gone. And
Did
she
he help
was
out at all with the appointments or anything like that? Taking,
no. Mike went. Well, she worked at Lutheran General, so
Yeah, so he
and that's where he would go.
Yeah.
For that, or if he was in. So it worked out actually pretty well, and kind of like during that whole time, if we needed stitches because we were at home doing something stupid,
hence the shenanigans.
hence the shenanigans. So, okay. Lawn charts are no longer in existence. Why? Because of the Patterson kids. That's all I got to say about that.
What's not in existence?
The lawn charts. Remember the
Oh, the
big-
jarts,
Yeah,
yeah.
the jarts. Yeah, the lawn charts. Anyway.
They got rid of them because they're too dangerous for kids like you.
I think we proved that. Yeah, I think that's why they went off the market. But we'd need stitches or something would happen, and she'd literally come down to the emergency room, watch us get stitched, and ask us if we bled on the carpet and go home. Like that was the extent of stuff. So.
And your dad wasn't in the picture
love
at all
stories
since
like that.
8 to
No,
9?
he was actually so sick to the point of, because at that point he was can you be more of an alcoholic? I don't know. But he was to the point where he was drinking a handle of vodka a day easily.
Okay.
And,
What
but
is a
out of
handle?
Tito's handle, like
Oh, like a full bottle. Okay.
yeah, not a little bottle, like the handle bottle size, easy. Yeah, they were
Wow.
empty all over his apartment all the time, and things like that. So he had his stomach removed in 78 again. So like that was going on right then. And my mom found that out because not only was she this at work, she was typing medical transcription for an extra job,
Extra
right?
money.
So she's typing along and da-da-da-da-da, whoop, and
Her
there it is.
ex-husband
Yeah.
was in
Is
for
in the hospital
getting his
downstairs.
stomach removed.
And at that point, there was only 11 people in the U.S. that survived that actual surgery of removing the whole stomach.
And he was one of them, huh?
John Wayne died of it.
Wow.
Yeah, like the next year, he had actual stomach cancer, but they tried that same surgery, and
So then what do? You have a feeding tube then, or how do you,
he was supposed to, but no, they just hook up the esophagus to the next thing, and your
to the next thing? Yeah. Okay.
and he had to learn how to eat it. He did learn how to eat again,
Okay.
always with B12 shots and things like that. But
So how long did he live after that surgery?
till he got cancer and died,
Long time?
till 2007. So
Oh yeah.
We're talking about your
My
dad?
dad.
Okay, so this isn't your brother.
no, right. So yeah,
Okay.
she was asking, was like life kind of consumed by everything going on at that point, and there was just so much going on that
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
was like, take two, like here we go. It was like all of this was going on at home, and that kind of stopped because he left, and then it instantly started back up with him being sick, my brother being sick,
Your
and
mom working 3 jobs.
yeah.
And then how did she tell you? How did you find out as a family that Mike was so sick? Do you
Yeah, it's
remember?
funny.
Talk it out probably, huh?
It wasn't together, but it was. I remember Bill because I remember his face
Okay.
when Mom told him, and that was like
That was one of your brothers?
the older brother. Yeah.
Okay.
So Sue, Bill, Mike, me, and yeah, that definitely changed significantly right then, and because he was already kind of there was a lot of abuse and beatings, and he got the worst of everything from my dad.
Bill, the
Yeah.
oldest. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so when that happened, it just changed him, very significantly. Like it was instant. So yeah, there was like this whole dynamics of Sue went off. She was always like daddy's little girl. She was the first one. She never really, not that she didn't see things, but she always blamed the rest of us for her life changing so significantly. Like, so
Sue, the second one.
Sue, Bill, Mike.
Sue, Bill.
Sue.
Oh, the
Yeah,
oldest
Sue.
son.
Yeah, Sue.
Okay, right.
Yes,
Bill.
yes. Sue is the oldest.
Got it.
Oldest. Yeah.
And then, did Mike ever talk to you about it? To you, about his sickness? Did he ever
I've been trying.
cry? Did he? How did he handle it?
When he was in the hospital, because he was, being that sick, he was really sick. Where he didn't, he just felt horrible. But yet, I found out stuff since then. Kind of going back in my memory, talking to my mom a little bit and things like that. That he ended up. He was actually quite the troublemaker during that whole time.
Even though he was so
yeah.
sick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe he felt like he didn't have anything to lose.
Right. I think that's yeah. It had to have been
I get
it.
that actually. Yeah, that would,
Right.
that makes sense that you would think that way.
Yeah. That life. He knew that this was back here, and
Were you guys close in your relationship, or I know you were close in age, but were you like, was he the sibling that you were maybe closest to at that point?
at that point, definitely yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because we were the ones that, like if something was going on with my dad, like I said, raging alcoholic, like beating on someone, beating on my mom, beating on my brother Bill. If it was my mom, I was the one that would like. It was always the laundry room, but I'd go in and try to break them up or cause a scene, do something, and Bill and Mike were, lowering the other kids out the back window so they could get out of the house and kind of go around. So
wow.
it was like a team thing, so that we were, but Mike and I were, that close like that, and then. Yeah, so it was
Wow.
yeah, we were close. We were actually all really close. I mean, Sue was always kind of just Sue, and she kind of still is.
All right.
Anywho, moving swiftly on.
Is
Taylor
she
Swift. Oh, you missed
moving
it. Come on.
swiftly
You
on?
missed it. I can't believe
I don't think
you
we've
missed
said this on the episode yet, but Taylor Swift started her tour last night, and I'm very excited about it. So,
Because
I'm,
she has
I'm going
tickets
in 3 months.
June.
it. 3 months.
And
exciting.
It is very exciting.
where is it?
Soldier Field in Chicago.
Shoulder massage. Soldier.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Thank you. But okay, so moving swiftly on again. um, are your parents not around anymore? Are they still around?
Nope. Dad died in 2007.
Okay.
My mom is.
Okay.
She'll be 85 in April.
Okay. How's your relationship with her currently?
She's a bomb.
I love
She's
that.
like, yeah. She's like, yeah. The only reason I'm alive, honestly. Like,
So you talk to her a lot and stuff?
I've been up there. This is my cup.
From
Since January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Oh, wow.
times.
I love that you have a prop to show.
Well, that's just me and my brother started that. We have matching cups. Yeah, we have matching cups. I don't know. We drove up there one time together last year
doing
and
a
bought
tally.
these at Myers, and yeah,
That's
how many times?
that's hilarious. 6.
okay. Nice. That's hilarious. That's
He
really
He marks
funny.
his at the top, so we don't mix them up and drink each
Okay.
other's drinks. So, but yeah, so Mom and I are really, really, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
But
it
yet-
always?
But yet she doesn't talk much about the heavy things with you, right?
No, she's to the point, and I'm, because I tried to start kind of, just work through some of this stuff again, like, just see what I could do. And she's to the point where she just wants to remember happy. She's in the beginning stages of dementia, and
She doesn't need to drag it up
I
again.
don't
Yeah.
need to do that to her. Like, she doesn't need,
Yeah.
she just doesn't need that. And
Yeah.
so I'm,
And in terms of being close, you asked were they always close?
Yes. So that
After-
was gonna be my next question.
After Mike died, you ran away.
yeah, I ran away before that, but
Before that? Oh, but then you wrote
Yeah.
the letter after.
yes.
Okay, got it. And so obviously that put a rift in your relationship for a while, given that you ran away, or did she?
With my mom?
Yeah, or did she?
We were both middle kids, and that's why we probably get along so well now. But
Yeah.
we actually, we used to fist fight.
You and your mom?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
backing up to so when Mike, did you run away after Mike was sick the first time? When did you go to the horse farm or whatever?
Okay, so after my dad left, I started going to Morton Grove Stables and just riding my bike up there, blah, 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 like, and going just to get out of the house, get away from everything. Mike was sick,
Yeah.
And so I was doing that. And that's where I met this girl, Marissa, who she was, 3.5 years. So, like, if I was a freshman, I wasn't at that point, but she was a senior. So there was like that much of an age gap. And I met her out at that barn. And, I just started actually coming, or I was going to say coming up here, but no, I'm down in Illinois right now. I'm going up to Wisconsin and, met people up there. And because she had her parents had a summer home on South Shore Drive.
Oh,
And,
wow.
so I just would go up there with her and, every so often and, sometimes break in when it was just us. But things like
I
that,
love
like,
You always have some sort of thing like that. We would just like break in, it's no big deal.
you're the owners. It's okay.
Yeah, no. It's such a I love hearing stories about like time before like everything was on camera,
Oh goodness. Oh boy.
because everything
Thank goodness there was.
you just
none
got
of
away
that.
with so much other stuff back then, like it's just I feel like everyone has a ring these days, and like so you catch more stupid shit that people get into, so people don't get into as much stupid shit. But I love to hear the stories from before when you do get into stupid shit.
It's a lot of stupid shit. A lot of stupid shit. It was only her house. Now my brother Mike, think of how many times he got busted for literally busting in like to people's houses and
Yeah.
car accidents and different things like that. And all of that. So my mom does keep a file on each one of us, like from
Oh my
whatever, like just
gosh.
like, yeah, it's interesting. Well, that's where that letter came from. But
Okay. Oh.
yeah, it was in my file. I'm like,
Wow.
great. But so this file had like clippings of him. I mean, there was some cancer stuff in there. There was like, but here's like a letter from. Again, she worked at Lutheran General, and so she knew the people in the legal department. They were nuns, one of them, and just before he passed away, he had broken into houses up in Michigan, from Niles to Michigan, being that sick. His group of buddies, like, I don't know, they were just like, it was ridiculous. So, and that's all the stuff that he actually got busted for. Could you imagine the stuff that wasn't on camera?
Right.
Right? Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So,
That he didn't get caught for, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
Wow.
So he still lived when he was sick.
phew.
He
was
still
like the
lived like a full
ringleader.
life.
He was the ringleader, I found out, which again, I didn't, these are some of the things I did find out from mom talking to her a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Bill was so mushed down from life and my dad and everything, but didn't have a lot of friends, and so he ended up getting like with Mike and all his friends and the poker gang. Like they played poker, like high stakes poker, like all this stuff, and did all these shenanigans, and Bill got kind of looped into all of that, and things like that. So
But he really did keep living until
absolutely,
the very last, moment
yeah,
that he
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah.
But what was it like seeing him go through treatment? Because he seems like he was full of life, whether, I mean, a troublemaker maybe a little bit too, but full of life. But like, what was it like for you seeing him start to struggle?
That was rough because my brothers are all big burly guys,
Like, it seems like they're invincible kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. My dad was the same way.
Yeah.
They were like, football, wrestling, like they were like, and they still look the same way. Well, not Mike, Bill, and Tim. Anyway,
But yeah,
In spirit.
yeah,
Yeah.
in spirit, like it's and so they were always like that. And with me going and coming back, it was always. I would see such a dramatic change. It wasn't like a slow change. If I was
Oh.
Yeah.
gone for 3 weeks or gone for 2 weeks or at the barn for whatever, and then he came home from the hospital because I had a really hard time. Like I'd go see him at the hospital once in a while, but that was
it was too hard.
that was not my cup of tea. It really
Just
wasn't.
so unfair.
And that's,
Yeah. So those changes were very stark and
was he
dramatic.
getting a lot thinner and
Oh, he was yeah, I can remember like at the end, like there's a picture of him, and I saved some of them on my phone. I was going to show you guys, but anyway, like him when he was getting his diploma, whatever, like his hands were so just bones, skin and bones. He was just,
Oh wow.
yeah. And then he went from like real bloated from steroids and
yeah.
all of that stuff that
And
you know,
then
to the,
To the
so yeah,
OG.
very,
more gaunt and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
very extremes.
Where were you when he died? Not at his bedside.
No, I was at that point at Marissa's house because, kind of fast forward a little bit, is that I used to go to the barn, used to then go up to Wisconsin. Well, then that spring came along when he was sick, and Marissa's aunt had thoroughbreds that raced at Arlington Park. And her farm was in Franklin Grove. Well, Marissa and I went there to work for the summer. Well, everybody left, and Leroy was the jockey. Took the horses down to Arlington, 8 of them, and left me with the rest. I was 15, and
And you
so
stayed there.
I stayed there. So I stayed there. Marissa went home, went back to school. I stayed at the farm by myself with, the remainder of the horses, which was like, I don't know, 16 horses or something like that. And I was going to school down there.
Okay.
And then when my mom called and she's like, you got to get home because, it's getting close. I said, I couldn't even bring myself to go home because
Ugh,
whatever.
just,
So
yeah.
I ended up living at Marissa's house. And so she called, 6:36 a.m. We were getting ready for school, and bread, everything I own, everything I own from bread
Yeah.
was on.
Yes.
Is that
yes,
it? Is that
yes.
it? Okay.
That is
Was on the radio right when my mom
Oh,
called.
it's a singer. I'm sorry.
Bread is, yeah.
Taylor Swift will do a version of it one day, I promise. And then 2 Tickets to Paradise was on right after that from Eddie Money. Like, it was like, you know.
You'll never forget that.
Isn't that interesting how this is kind of tangent, but like music
Music is my
in
life.
big moments
Yeah.
of your life stands out. It like brings back memories. Similar to like the sense of smell or something, but like if you smell something that reminds you of a memory, like it just brings you back into that memory.
That Bread song is so sad. And and then 2 Tickets to Paradise makes
Right
me
after
think
it.
of him going off to heaven.
I wanted to go with him. I wanted to go with him.
It's a good sign, yeah.
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 So in my mind, it was like, I gave everything. Nope. I want to go.
I'm out. So did you just...
Knock, knock.
It's time. Yeah. We were told about the knock knock jokes.
Sorry.
It makes you feel better about it, right? Like it's just
I
like
think of my mom, and she makes me smile. Yeah.
that's nice.
Oh, okay. So then the funeral.
Who's
Oh.
there? I'm just kidding.
Who's
Who is
there?
it?
But I need to know the joke.
Smell mop.
Smell off who?
I don't know. I wish I did know.
Smell mop poo? What?
Oh, smell my poo. That's it.
Oh my god.
We helped you figure out the joke. She couldn't remember the answer to it.
I don't remember jokes. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'll show you those videos.
Smell
Oh my
my
gosh,
poo?
it's hilarious. Smell my poo.
All we needed to do was continue it. That's funny.
Oh my gosh. All right then. So there you go. Smell my poo.
It all comes back to poop. That's one of our taglines.
It is. Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right.
Fitness love. It all comes back to poop. Most of life comes back to poop because
It does.
it can be shitty.
It is part of the circle of life, honestly.
And if you don't poop, you're in
Kind of.
trouble.
Ooh. Then you're full of shit.
Then you're full of shit.
Then you're-
You are
Literally.
very, very full of shit.
So how long until the funeral then?
He was sick for about 2.5 years, and here's the medical miracle: is that ibuprofen was going to be the cure for cancer back then.
Oh my god.
That's how long ago it was. Yeah, it was like literally, like it was like the thing you
Wow.
weren't supposed to eat apples, and ibuprofen was going to be the cure for cancer. Clearly, it did not.
You weren't supposed to eat apples, huh?
Yeah, you know how things go in and out of like, yeah, it was weird. It was like all this.
And then there was like, I don't know when it changed to the saying of
An
apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah.
Yeah, they all come and go, but yeah. So before that though, like Mike was, we were talking about like him going through school and different things, or me going through school, but he graduated like days before he, the principal actually came to the house to give him his diploma, and I went to Maine East, and at that point, Maine East was the largest school in the state of Illinois. Most amount of, enrollment of kids. North had closed, and those kids had come over to East, and it was a huge school. I'm sure you know where.
Yeah,
Oh
we did.
no, that's right. You're from.
She's from Wisconsin, but
I'm
we
Wisconsin,
did.
yeah.
We had different, competitions at Maine East. Yeah, Maine North. I don't know when that closed, but
They weren't open. They were only open 10 years. Breakfast Club
I know Breakfast Club.
that was filmed at Maine North right after it closed.
Wow, that's cool.
Taylor Swift was there.
In the Breakfast Club? Wow. That's news to me. She was like a baby, right? Yeah.
I don't know. She would know. Maybe a glimmer.
Right,
No,
yeah.
not even.
That's funny.
she wasn't there, right?
No, she was there. No.
It's funny. She was directing it at me, but then you're the one that didn't get it.
I'm like, what? How did that happen?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
I'm sure she would have loved to be in the Breakfast Club. It seems in her MO.
So
That
then-
would have been it. Yeah, that
Did
would
you
have been.
move back home then after he died for a while? Is that why what prompted the letter of moving away again?
Yes. Yeah, I went. Yeah, I was had to go home, and it didn't last long. Where I was just kind of in and out, and then I finally about November was like, I tapped out of school. I tapped out of school actually about a month and a half after he died.
And when did he die?
January 20th, 82.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then then you quit school and you went back to the
High school, right? Did you ever get a GED or anything? Or did you? You did? You just.
Yeah, I got my diploma. Yeah, high school. Not just the GED. I did the whole
You actually got the diploma and stuff. Okay. Nice.
when I was 50.
Well, it's probably, you probably had to do it online at that point, right?
No, I did it Gateway. I mean, no, the testing was all in person, and
Okay, I'm just not familiar with the process and stuff. I pictured you going to high school as like a 50-year-old, and then, like, what is the actual process?
I was a super senior, super senior, from 15 to 50. Took me a minute. What you gonna do?
Oh man, you probably had the best access to the booze for parties and stuff.
Everywhere, every parent bar I knew where they all were.
Okay, so what actually is the process? You go, like, how do you finish high school non-traditionally like that? You go to like a
In
different
town,
building?
yeah, in Elkhorn, there's Gateway, which is actually a technical college, and they just offer the classes if you need them. You do the
Okay, for
testing.
For adults.
Yeah, for adults.
Nice.
Yeah, and you kind of decide what you need to spruce up on, and then take the
Okay.
tests.
I mean, that's interesting to know. It's something I just haven't like been
Yeah.
aware of and stuff.
So
So
meanwhile, you just went to work. You've been working since you were like 10 or something, right?
But yeah,
just work all
forever.
the time.
Yeah, which got a little harrowing just because it was, the line of work that I do is actually all like bachelor degree. So, you know, early on, you're relying on your applications because
Yeah.
I did not ever say I had a bachelor's degree. But I'd say I had my
High
diploma,
school.
right?
Yeah.
And, and then just gained all the experience and then was able to, get the jobs on that versus paper.
Wow. Yeah, you're pretty resilient. Is it okay, or is it going to be a knock knock moment if I read a little of the letter? That
Oh,
you
might
wrote
be
your mom?
Taylor's. You can.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's
You'll
really hard
that you know what that'll show
hard to
is
see.
my awesome education right there. That's what's gonna come up.
It's pretty. It's kind of hard to see. Can you?
put your glasses on Zoom.
It's
Maybe Katie can read it.
yeah, I
Maybe
bet
you want
you
me to-
can. It's hard. It's actually easier to see on the phone that you sent me than when I printed it.
Oh,
Um,
I texted to
I
him.
see what you mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
it's
know
not
it.
it's light. It's very light to read.
But I think I can read it on the phone better.
And it's also in cursive.
They used to actually teach us that in school.
They taught me it too. Yeah.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, they don't anymore. But
That's crazy.
I really, I like how it says "ma." That's cute.
I know.
But the envelope said Mary.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't want to like read it wrong or anything because it's too light for me to see. But
It might actually get better.
Yeah, I was able to read it on this when
Knock knock. Just kidding.
smell mop.
No, I'm not saying it now. I know it.
I'm tricking it. I'm gonna bring it
You
back to you.
almost got it out of me. I almost said it too.
Can you read it? I don't know why I can't. I think because the light isn't. I have to go turn the light on maybe.
Okay, Ma, I'm sorry for all of the problems I caused. I'm really sorry. You don't have to worry because I'm going to, it's a little light there. If you remember it all, I don't.
Be fine. Or going to be
Maybe be
okay.
fine.
I'm gonna be, yeah, something like that. Or staying. I'm gonna be staying with a very nice family. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not your writing. It's just like super light.
Oh no, it is the writing. Wait. Give me-
I hope I didn't cause too much embarrassment for you. It will be more peaceful without me here causing problems. Say goodbye to everyone. Talk to you soon. Like I said before, I'm very sorry. Thanks for all your help. Love you always, Sharon. P.S. I do love you, and I feel bad because I can't see this last part. And as for everyone, sack that I don't know if that's
Sake.
right.
Everyone's sake.
Everyone's safe. Yeah.
Sake, thank you. Okay, that I'm leaving not because of anyone. Okay. So
For everyone's sake, instead of
Yeah.
You
I was
wrote this-
leaving because of me officially ran away after Mike died, and in my folder of fun from mom, that letter was in there. And it's dated November 1st or something like that, you know. And
Yeah,
he died
November
in
1st,
yeah.
82. Yeah.
And so you were 16 then,
This is
and
after Mike passed away.
Yeah,
and
Mike
you
died in January that year, and by the time I finally
and you really felt like you were a problem if you stayed.
absolutely, I felt like I was told so much that I was the problem, you know, by aunts and uncles and
Really? Is that when you were
It's
getting
me.
into fist fights and things with your mom? And
I'm the problem. It's
well, that's why I
me.
was laughing at your shirt. I didn't know it was Taylor Swift though.
This
I
is
thought it
full
was me.
circle. Yeah.
I think I think Taylor stole it from me. She's Taylor.
Self-deprecating also, I guess, you know.
There you go. Yeah.
and so you never went back after that.
I
I mean, to
I
live.
was to live. I was there for a short period of time, and then I was just up in Wisconsin, and I was pretty much officially in Wisconsin from 18,
Yeah.
and I'm 57.
Did you talk to your mom at all during that time that you were gone?
Um, she was pretty busy with her new husband,
When did that come along?
Bob. That's a whole other story, but she met him. I mean, they weren't married at that point just yet. They got married in 85, I think. But she was actually her story. But she, you know, because I asked her how to meet Bob, you know, and she said she got dressed up in all her best. It was 3-4 months after Mike died, and was all dressed up to go kill herself. And so that she could be found in decent clothing. And she saw a sign at a church that said, "It's Parents Without Partners," PWP, and it was a dance at a church. And somehow she went in there instead. Bob was taking tickets, and she got a ticket, went in, and Bob followed her in, and they've been together literally ever since.
He saved
She
your
was
life.
going off to kill herself. I remember you saying that now, but the impact is
Yeah.
still really severe.
Yeah.
Wow. God, that would have done you in. You, you know, had that happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah. She was the rock. I mean, oddly enough, you know.
and so then you had, you said you were always, you had low self-esteem even long before Mike got sick, and so after leaving, I mean, thinking you're the problem child, thinking you're the, you know, like it's your fault, it's all that. Where do you think that feeling came from? Do you want to share a little bit about that, or do you just want to gloss over that part? It's up to you.
No, I don't. That part I don't. Honestly, that's way less of a knock knock joke than
Okay, then the mic thing, yeah, big time.
yeah. Yeah. So my life was like whatever it was, you know. With my dad being a raging alcoholic, we lived at my grandma's. We lived here. You know, and but when I was 8, you know, we used to go to Michigan. My grandma had a cottage up there. My cousins, one of them had a cottage up there. I don't know, at Paw Paw Lake. And when I was 8, there was this creepy old hotel, and my uncle started abusing me when I was 8. And that just kind of concreted in anything that my dad ever said, you know, about how bad I sucked and, you know, all these different things. And that went on until I was 11.
And you were told if you shared it, he would
Yeah.
kill someone in your family.
Yeah, that he would, yeah. Because we were always up there. Like, it was, yeah, he definitely concreted in my head that first night that I was never to say anything at all, just because it clearly wasn't right. And that same night, my sister actually, we were like, there was like 16 cousins. There were like a lot of us, and we went for ice cream after that. And my sister came up missing, my little sister. So she was like 2.5 or 3, came up missing. And so he said, if you do anything, you know, I'll hurt your family, I'll hurt someone, I'll cause all this harm. And it was like right
thought
after
for
that
sure,
that she
yeah.
was gone, because he must have thought I said something, and she was gone. She was missing for like 3 hours after we got back. And she could have been in the lake. He could have, you know, nobody knows. And so I was 8. Yeah, you just don't
Right.
think about those things. So, yeah, I never said anything then after that because that just scared me so, you know,
Yeah.
When
you
did
know, just
you start talking about it?
not until I I was 25, and then, because when I got pregnant, you want to see a shit show come forward, have some of those hormones attached to 25 years of shit show.
Oh. Oh.
It's like
Whoa.
Ferris wheel on crack, just spitting everything right back out at you.
I love that.
That's the name of our episode. Ferris wheel on crack.
I actually really like that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it was like that. Like instead of all, yeah, it was. It was like, and I couldn't stop it, because you bury. I mean, that's kind of one of your things here is like the no more secrets. It was like life was a secret. Like there was,
All the way
we went to a
through.
Catholic grade
Right.
school. Like there was no talking about anything. There just
Yeah.
wasn't, and like even going back to things like Mr. Cochran coming to give Mike the diploma. Well, the priest wouldn't even come in the house to give him his last rites because my mom was divorced, right? And we all went to school there, grade school. Father Pollock wouldn't even step foot in the door because my mom, you know what I mean? Like that's like everything was very secretive like that. So
Everything was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was. Yeah.
I don't even remember him being at the funeral. Father Pollock, like it was weird. Like it was like the largest funeral that you've ever seen. I mean, it
Yeah.
was
The whole town, I would think, and more.
it was weird. There was like 2.5 days of that, like the wake, and then there was 125 cars, 125 cars, kids
Wow.
everywhere. Like he was like the popular kid in school,
Oh wow.
and we went to the largest high school. Like it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
just there were kids hanging out of car windows and this like it was nuts. There was just nonstop
God.
people. It was really
Wow.
weird. So, it was kind of like that's
That's
when
overwhelming.
it was that was
Like, yeah, it's a nice gesture, but when you have that many people probably coming up to you and everything, or at least some of them, like wanting to talk to you and stuff, that's a lot.
yeah. You weren't allowed to show emotions.
You weren't allowed to cry.
Ugh.
You
Of
were
course
told
not.
one of you started crying, and your dad took you out or something.
He saw
right?
me starting to need a knock knock joke, and he took me over to a room because we had to sit in the front row or stand, by the thing, as people walk by or
Right,
whatever,
right.
And again, like 2.5 days of that, long hours and stuff. And he saw me on the first day, and he took me. It was this weird sky funeral home. It was this room. It was like a public telephone room, and like people, you hear kids joke about it. I'll give you something to cry about. You want something to cry about, and
He took you out and he hit you
yeah.
because you were crying at your brother's funeral.
I wasn't
Or you
even
were
crying.
about
I was
to.
about like I was like yeah.
I was picturing him to like, and, of course this isn't the case because that's not the shit show that you're describing. But I was picturing like, oh, he sensed your emotions and was like pulling you aside so that you could get it out.
Right.
But
And
no,
to console you. No,
he was doing the opposite of like
punishing you for being emotional.
for having emotions. Yeah,
Yeah, you were supposed to hide everything.
and that's terrible.
I mean, in my mind, you think of those things and dream of those things. It's like being a princess. You want to one day be rescued or whatever. Like, but
You want like a white knight coming to get you or
yeah,
something?
or like your dad to actually care. And yeah, no, no, there was none of
That's
that
like
going
I
on.
used to say. I really wish I had a brother that I could look up to that had my back, and it's just
Yeah.
interesting concept that people have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same with dads. She didn't have that with her dad either, so kind of
Yeah.
sucked. But
Yeah.
But okay, so then when did you meet your husband?
He was from Wisconsin. Imagine that.
The best star from Wisconsin.
Oh dear.
Not this guy, or he was.
No. Yeah, no. There's no secret there.
Okay. I was like,
Literally no secret
Well,
there. Your man was an
speaking
alcoholic.
only for myself because
Thank you.
I'm
Yes,
from
I know.
Wisconsin
Yeah,
and
he's
I'm the
fantastic.
best.
you're the best,
yeah.
and your husband's from Wisconsin.
And my
Yes.
husband's from the best. Yes, from Wisconsin
They
too.
used to say I had to come back to Illinois to find him. I'm like, I don't know. I did not
I
get
get
lucky.
that, yeah.
Yeah, no. It's
But he
little
was an
different.
alcoholic.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic. I married my dad
You
basically.
married your dad. You repeated the cycle. Did you get pregnant right away?
No, I did not. Everybody thought I was because we got married in like 9 months. Like we
Oh.
met and I
Yeah.
was married at 19 or whatever, and No, I didn't have coding until
19?
yeah, I didn't have
Wow.
coding until I was 24. I was gonna be 25. Like I was like, well, he's January, I'm March. He was 6 weeks early. I'm like, well, so we're like 25 almost years apart, Cody and I, my
Okay.
son and I. So
And he was born with a fused neck, is that right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you know that right away?
My mom. I thought he was a cute kid going. No, it was not. He was like his neck was actually wrong direction, fused.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's called Klippel-Feil syndrome, and
And then did he have it straightened out eventually?
he sadly it was weird because you know kids grow or whatever, so literally fused on the left side and in the back a little bit. So when he was about 11 and a half or something, he started to grow. Rick's tall, his dad, his brother's tall, like, and he went like this. He went from like 12, 15% to 45%. His ear
got
was
worse?
almost on his shoulder, because he grew 6 inches, and that's only one side of his neck grew like this, right?
Because
So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was, you
Oof.
know, he was 3 days away from having like there was all the blood. We went down to Northwestern. Everything was lined up. He was going to have to be fused back on the other side, front and back. And the doctor, thank God, knew to take one more X-ray and of his growth plates and said, "This boy is not going to be that." He got my height. Yeah, well, he's taller than me, but I mean, he got my like that side instead
Right.
of his dad's side in height because Grandpa was 6'4", Dad was 6'1", you know. And he said he took it's like actually growth plates in here and in your hip, and doctor did that 3 days before surgery and stopped the surgery. I mean, we had the rooms down in the city.
what
We
would
had
have
everything.
happened?
I ended up taking him, like not Lake Villa, but Lake Zurich. Maybe there was this awesome crazy therapy thing that it was. I can't even just. I'd have to like really look back at notes or like
But
come
what
up
would
with
have
a.
happened if he had had the surgery?
He would have been basically a piece of plywood. He wouldn't have been able to turn or move
Oh my
anything. Like
God.
right now, he can
Wow.
still turn one direction, and his peripheral vision is crazy good because he can't turn one direction. So he can. Don't try to sneak up on that boy.
Whoa,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then the therapy got his neck to straighten out?
yeah,
Pretty
between
much?
that and because he had scoliosis too, and I mean between that and what he used to have gym class like workout class like 2 or 3 times a day, and he was kind of a marvel, which is weird because he literally straightened his scoliosis by the way he worked out. Listening to the guy down here, who was from over in Chernobyl, try to say that I can't say that.
Chernobyl. That one.
Yeah.
That one's not too hard
That one, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
for me anyway.
And every time I go, Chernobyl, Katie,
Chernobyl. Yeah, I'll be.
Chernobyl.
And then you do all the sh sounds for
Okay,
me.
all
Okay,
right.
we'll trade.
Cho,
Good thing she could do shush just because, her name is Sharon.
Sharon.
That is good. You probably you have an advantage there because you had to say it all the time. You know.
Sharon. I like Sharon. We've had this conversation. Yes.
Yeah, you're good at Sharon.
Yeah. So yeah, it was this amazing therapy that he ended up. I drove him from Elkhorn down here every Saturday morning.
Wow.
A couple years, and just got like him past all that major growth stuff going on at that point. Got him straightened back up, and
So he's about 30 now, is that right? Or 31?
32.
Okay, 32.
Okay.
32 in January he was.
And
Wow.
he has a wife
Tosh
and,
stepson.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if it was their son or what, but yeah.
Not yet. We're working on that one.
Come
tell
on.
me.
I
No,
just
no,
had a
no, no.
birthday. Come on. It's all about me.
Yeah. No, it's there was some.
So what happened with your husband then? Like you divorced eventually?
Yeah.
And
Got
did
divorced
he-
when I was 32, but he
Did he fight it?
yes, yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's, people go, well, what happened with your mom, whatever. But like after the, what on crack? The Ferris wheel on crack.
Ferris wheel on
Ferris
crack.
wheel on
Yeah.
crack. It looks like that pillow. This pillow. Like you could just, like this. Yeah, like that's what like that.
That's funny. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I went through a lot of like, that's when I started actually healing. Like, because all that stuff comes out and you got to do something with it,
Your string came up a little bit. Yeah, there it goes.
out of the wee. I do start talking with my hands. I was a little nervous about this because I'm like trying to keep this hand away from it because if not, it would don't all the time.
Maybe
But
that
it's
thing would go.
Part of the norm, especially with Mary. So
Very true. Very true.
yeah, so I started healing myself like through that, and he actually started getting abusive himself, and I knew from getting better myself, and then watching my mom, I knew that I wasn't going to raise the next generation like that. So, I started the divorce, and
And did he fight it?
yeah, yeah, all the way right till the day before court, asking me to get back together, and
Wow.
yeah,
Just so much shit all the time with you. Seriously. Like all the way leading up to what was that, 32 years old, you were just struggling all the time, it seems.
yeah.
And then let's talk about your weight problems. You said that that started from
Yeah, early
being
on with
molested.
my uncle. Yeah,
You wanted to protect yourself
yeah, that's a wall.
and make yourself less attractive, correct? And you would say it actually got to a point where it was
Yeah.
like
Completely
an
unhealthy.
eating disorder
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
all types, right? Like bulimia, overeating, anorexia, sports addiction, all of that.
All of the above, yeah. So when I was, after the whole uncle thing stopped, and I was like, and then I started going to the barn a lot. And I know I'm going kind of way backwards here, but I started riding my bike, going to the barn, and shoveling poop, and grooming horses all day long, and all these different things, which also then concreted in my self-esteem because they were all the rich girls with the horses and their chaps and their big boots and things like that.
And
Yeah,
then
there
you're
was
shoveling shit.
yeah. So, like self-esteem, but then I got skinny because I was like, but comparison will kill you. Like it will. Like it will kill you slowly. It will kill you quickly. It will just kill you. And so,
You were comparing yourself to the girls that
Yeah.
had the horses. Yeah,
yeah, they were all that. Yeah, they all had
tall
everything they
and
needed,
thin and
tall,
everything.
and yeah, just anything. Yeah, just
and they
totally
had money,
Yeah.
and
everything. I mean, there's a lot of that going on, and like that's where
But
I
then
grew
you
up.
got super, super skinny. You said like you
I
started
did.
running marathons, right, or half marathons.
Yeah,
or...
that was way after that. But yeah, so I got really thin there. But that's when I then moved to Franklin Grove, and I got thin. And this is where it became the wall because I thought, oh, I got thin. I'm going to school down there. I'm running this farm. I'm getting skinnier because I'm eating pigeons and hot dogs. And it's like, what happens? Poof, gang rape. You get skinny and then people,
Oh, you got gang rape?
yeah, when I was 15.
You told me that too. God, yeah. It's
I don't
too
like
much.
to remember it either.
It's so
I
much
don't-
stuff, though. That's
Yeah.
that yeah,
and
adds
then
another
so-
layer to it because
and
that's right before your brother died, right?
Yeah.
So he was sick at this point too.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
because you were attractive.
So I thought.
They called
that's-
attention. It called it
Right.
your weight or physique, whatever, called attention to yourself. So, so did you?
And
go,
so I blamed it on that, and then started packing on the pounds. But I was after I got back, like when Mike was gone at that point, then I started like doing all of that because I was skinny. There was nothing to eat on the farm, so it was like I stayed skinny until I got home, and that happened. And but then it was like, you know what? I didn't want anybody looking at me. I didn't want any attention. Period. So then you just start. It was like a slow brick wall, like this. This is gonna be a problem in a second.
All good.
It's okay. Cut. And
You got the editor in the room here, so we're good.
We got a good one. It's all okay. Yeah, so it was just like that where I just built that wall, and then it got to the point where it was like I started kind of working on myself, getting whatever, and I started to lose the weight again. I met Rick, and actually got quite thin again, and that's when I was doing I knew that I liked food, but I knew that I didn't want to be fat, and so bulimia, kind of was the thing.
Yeah.
And so then I maintained my weight at that point. Met Rick, got married. I mean, I was even thin during pregnancy, or normal. I mean, I was never a skinny kid. I was not like that. I was more like the gymnast type, versus the tall, skinny, like
lanky,
I mean,
yeah.
So you're
I won't look
athletic,
directly at you, Katie. I promise.
I mean, I'm flattered.
Well, you
I don't.
are.
I feel like I'm tall, but I don't. Yeah,
Nope, she was the little butterball in the family.
it was fat.
She was. And she had two ectomorph.
Ball, I'm sorry.
Butterball.
She had two ectomorph siblings. There's ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph.
All right,
Okay, and so ectomorph
I
is
wasn't
that
one of
naturally
them.
skinny,
Yeah,
And then
no.
mesomorph is just naturally a lot of, weight, but or endomorph is, but mesomorph is muscular but big. I would say you were kind of more like a mesomorph slash endomorph.
I looked like I had a basketball under my shirt before I got a growth spurt. Um,
She had this little belly.
I did have a belly. Yeah, it was a
I
thing.
didn't know her, but I saw
It
pictures.
was a butterball. It was a
It was
butter.
and here's Sarah and Joe, and
Who
they're
are
all
just
tall and lean, and then there's
and
Katie.
ate as much as I did. So we all ate a lot of food, but they ate as much and it didn't affect them. And even though I was in sports and stuff, it affected me.
Of course.
But then I got a growth spurt at like 14 or something like that. So then I grew to be the same height as them. And while I wasn't like stick skinny, I guess, but I thinned out
Right.
from that. So
But you still have more of the mesomorph body than Sarah and Joe.
I think so,
They're
yeah.
like ectomorph, yeah.
I did not know all these different names. This is interesting. There's a name for it.
yeah,
So you're probably more of a mesomorph too, muscular,
Yeah, it was definitely the
and
hmm
but not endomorph is like just a butterball.
Yeah, no, I had a 24-inch waist, you know what I mean? Like when I got pregnant, I had a
Wow.
24, 25-inch waist. Like I used to be able to tie a bandana around me and stuff like that was easy,
Wow.
yeah. But I also weighed 120 pounds. Like most people at that point where I was like bulimic healthy, you know what I mean? Like, but I was thin and, most people go, oh, you're five, whatever, you should be, 98 pounds. If I was 98 pounds, I would have looked anorexic
Because
again.
of your muscular,
It
and your
wasn't.
bones and all that. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
doesn't
Not
120? I mean, I guess I don't know for shorter heights, but isn't that pretty healthy for like five? How tall are you? 5'2"?
Two-ish.
I
So,
think that's
I
pretty
used to have some
healthy,
really
isn't
good
it?
hair back in the day that was
Made you
added a
taller?
whole inch. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. The perm.
It used
Was
to
what?
be, well, depending on if the type of body, but in general for women, 100 pounds for the first 5 feet, and then
8 to 12.
5 pounds an inch. So
I was supposed to be
100
108 to 112.
110.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And but because so same here. Like I should be 120 pounds, but I always weighed more because I have,
You're
muscle.
muscular,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I do now, but
Maybe
I
that's
did.
just what I'm used to though, because I'm used to girls being muscular because it's much more common these days. I feel like where it's more accepted too of like
Yeah,
muscle is
it wasn't back then. Everybody
right.
was like, skinny or skating. My cousins were they skated with, Scott Hamilton and David Santee at Oakton
Really.
ice rink. Yeah, I watched those rich skinny kids that were my cousins that did, it was like everywhere. But yeah,
So Scott Hamilton and then Taylor Swift was at the Breakfast Club.
in the Breakfast Club movie.
no, the Scott Hamilton and David Santee were a real thing. I watched them skate. They practiced in the morning with my cousins.
Wow, that's
Yeah, at
really
the same
cool.
rink. Yeah, at the same rink. But that's Taylor Swift. I barely even know who she is.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I know enough for the both of us.
All right, sounds like
You gotta
it.
dip on your nose.
I felt it, yeah. Don't worry, I was gonna get it. We're fine.
We're fine. We're fine.
All right.
All
So
right.
let's fast forward to now in terms of how do you feel about yourself? What's your relationship with your family? What's your relationship with food? Just in general, what Where are you
Family is good. There was a period of time in there that after my dad died, it actually broke up the kids, which nobody ever thought could break us up because we're so close.
Grief changes people.
Oh, it was more than it was my dad. It was a mess. Talk about a shit show. Yeah, he was like the author of shit shows, but
it's funny that it broke you up rather than bring you together because the perpetrator was gone.
right. Yeah, when my brother died, it was like we were close, and then we were like mega close after Mike died, and then it was just crazy to think that
Yeah.
that's a whole nother part of stuff. But yeah, so it was like that, and now we're actually, where I talk to my brothers again, and because it was a complete separation of the kid, complete separation.
For how long?
2007 until or 2008, whatever. It's 23 now. Been back with my brothers about 10 years. No, 8 years maybe.
Ago.
Yeah, about 8 years ago, we kind of started coming back online, and
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
like
you were estranged for a good
yeah, they
8
were at my
years as well.
50th. Yeah, they were at my 50th birthday, so that was 7 years ago. So,
Okay. And that was kind
and
of
probably yeah, at least a year or two maybe before that. But there was quite a span where, like Tim's kids, they were always at my house. Bill's kids, I took them on vacation. Like I took them to, it was weird, and then it just stopped. But
yeah.
so I missed a huge chunk of, those kids' lives and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
What about Sue? You close with Sue?
knock
Sue is
knock.
Sue.
Knock. No, I need a different one to knock knock because that's
Bill
not fun.
and
That's yeah. No, Sue has lived in Phoenix. She moved out there in '91 and has never really looked back.
oh, okay. That's what she
and,
needed to do, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bill and
Is-
Terry, your sister,
Yeah,
and
Bill,
then
Tim, and Terry.
Tim lives in Chicago.
Terry's over in Lake Villa
Uh-huh.
now. Richmond, Spring Grove, now in Lake Villa.
Mm.
And Bill is in Gurnee, and Tim is in Chicago,
Okay.
Edison Park,
And you live in Elkhorn.
right where I ran away to.
Isn't that ironic, huh?
Life kind of full circles a lot like that, I feel like. It brings you back
Ferris
to
wheel on crack.
It is a Ferris wheel on crack,
It's
yes.
a Ferris wheel on crack. That is my life. Sometimes it slows down, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's flinging stuff all over the place.
I love that.
And your self-esteem?
Is I've tried to learn how to be an adult again. Like, my son grew up. I was a single mom then, and it was like he grew up, did his thing. He's been with Tasha for 11 years, and he's 32. So there wasn't a lot of time after graduation and his schooling and stuff that, he was around. I traveled a lot for work, and but I was a mom. I was so dedicated. So I was a mom. Like, I loved it. I love it still. I would have
Yeah.
had 12.
Oh.
I had it so easy. My mom wished me on me. Polar opposite.
Your mom wished you on you.
Oh yes, she did. Out loud multiple times. Like,
You're like,
bad.
this parenting thing is easy. What's wrong, Mom?
Yeah, like
What'd you
seriously,
do
I had
wrong?
the best. Like, he is still, like, he is. Yeah, he's an amazing young man.
Yeah.
Now, and I don't know how I got. I mean, yeah, just crazy. So, but kind of like then transitioning into my adulthood.
It's like, now what?
Like, seriously, like, now what? Because now I'm not like, am I, and I was like learning, because I'm always trying to be better than I was yesterday. It just, from the age of 25-ish, after I had him, it was just like better, and you go backwards and you go forwards and but
Right,
you
it's
learn,
like a
like you
roller
learn.
coaster, yeah.
Yeah, it's, not the Ferris wheel anymore, but the roller coaster.
Now we're all sorts of amusement park rides today, yeah.
Yes, we are. But yeah, so it was like that. And, I started, with working and traveling and just, I think that was a hard transition for me because all through his schooling, I actually kind of lived vicariously through him. He was like on homecoming court, and like, he was like the kid. Like, I went
He
on
was
every,
like the normal,
yeah. And yeah,
path.
yeah, a normal path. And I took him on every field trip. Like, I was that mom, because I worked from home. I had, traveled, but I worked
a
from
lot
home.
of healing for you during
Oh,
that period of time.
tons.
Yeah.
Having, the dinner table was full of boys and kids. My house was full of fun and laugh
love
and
it.
just, it was awesome. It was just amazing,
Completely different than what you grew up with.
Right. Yeah, completely different. And
Mm-hmm.
although we had the same dining room table, that's really weird. But
Was it the same dining room table?
literally the same dining room table.
Like,
yeah.
meaning they
I had it
you
from the house
inherited it
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
got it from Clara Drive. It's the Clara Drive table. Yeah.
near Normal Street.
Next, yeah.
Next to
Yeah,
normal.
Next to normal.
Next to normal, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one
So
too.
yeah, you just kind of do all that, and that's when but I kept gaining weight, because I was like, being a mom, I didn't want guys around me, I didn't want anything around me.
Yeah. You wanted to focus on
But
him.
I wanted to be a mom, and that was the only way I knew how to do that, was to cover me and be this, and then you get to about 40, and my sister's like, I'm like, this is a problem. I weighed 260 pounds.
Whoa.
5'2". Oh yeah. Oh wait.
At
I could-
5'2"?
5'2", 5 foot wide. Yeah, it was
5 foot wide.
it was bad. Yeah.
That's funny.
I was a little taller than I was wide, but not by much. Yeah, it was ridiculous at that point. And there's other backstories behind that, but yes, it got worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, you get to be close to 40, and my sister and her husband had just started running half marathons. I've never been a runner. I wasn't built like a runner. I was just never like, I was fast. I was like, the 50-yard dash, 100-yard dash, the hurdles in grade school. Like that was my thing. I could jump, run and jump and stuff like that. But she's
Not
like,
long distance, yeah.
"Oh, I couldn't even run a mile without dying. And I didn't have to do it in school because I wasn't in school. So there's that. And somehow she sucked me into that with my $15 Walmart shoes. And I did between the time I was 40 and then 2018. Whatever. Somebody else do that math, not me. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think I did like 28 half marathons and
Wow.
triathlons and mud runs and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah.
2006 to 2018.
Ooh, she's good.
Nice. My brain isn't thinking math
That's
right now.
pretty
so that's
good for after St. Patty's Day.
Right. Feeling squishy.
No, I'm not squishy anymore.
Any squishy anymore, yeah. So it took me about, I think, a year and a half to dump quite a bit of that weight, and just by running with her to get ready for my first half
Wow.
in
How
January of
28
Phoenix.
8 of them, you think? Wow.
A
In
lot.
12 years.
Plus triathlons, plus
Yeah,
mud runs, plus
that's fun.
I did a triathlon with my sister and my mom 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, she did the swim. Mom did the swim.
Oh, you did like a combined
Yeah, a relay. Yeah,
triathlon.
that was
Okay.
a relay one. Yeah, she did the swim. Terry did the bike, and I did the run.
I'd like to do something like that because I like swimming. I don't really like running, but I'm doing an 8K next week, so don't
8K.
don't know where
There's
that's
a for
coming
the-
from.
What's an 8K? 5 mile.
It's 5 miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say 8K because they
Great
like
for
that.
me.
We used to mess with people like that because we like 8K. Ooh, 5 miles. Ooh. But then we were like, I'm sorry, that was just me.
No, I
That
get
was
it.
the mean share. That was the bully
I look
share.
like a little
That's
chicken
naughty.
shit.
Huh?
I look like a little chicken shit, but I can't do it. Like I'm just
I couldn't
struggling.
I couldn't run from here to the next door anymore. Like you have to practice for every one
It
of
is a
those you do.
practice skill.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely,
it is
yeah.
an absolute. I could have stopped for 6 weeks in between and been like, nope, here we starting all over again with
Pretty
breathing
much,
and
yeah.
running and habit, yeah. And I traveled a lot, so I was swimming in hotel pools when I was doing the triathlon. Like it was weird, but
That's hard. Yeah, you need like an actual lane pool, I think, to
yeah,
get the
there's
full
no-
effect.
it was like the
You swim 2
kidney
strokes
shape,
and
and I was
you're
like,
done. The kidney shape like grandma's pool.
yeah, like this was like woo.
Yeah.
It was weird.
1, 2, 3. Turn around. 1, 2, 3.
I'm so fast. Look at me.
That's hard.
1,000 laps.
No, but I remember running the half, like even the half, and they marked them 10K. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, that's why I used to. Well, yeah, you're almost there.
Well,
If they start yelling that at you, tell them to shut up. You are
no,
not
I'm
almost
just,
there.
I'm going to look like the little engine that could. It's fine. My feet are going to be shuffling, but I'm going to be doing like, that's it,
Well, here's the thing, people. I say I did have barely. Seriously, do I look like a runner? I was not fast.
Yeah.
No.
The goal is just to finish. Yeah.
Without dying.
Without dying. Yeah.
That's it.
I
right
prefer
there.
not
That's
to
it.
die
I definitely preferred not to die.
Yeah.
at this point.
But no, I was finishing. Finishers to the right. That's
Okay.
it.
Right lane?
Right lane.
Like the old people in Florida.
Okay. Do you mean like your friends or like what are you saying? Because you have friends that go to Florida.
They said, this is where we go to die. 'Cause
I'm going to Arizona.
on the west side of Florida, it's where all the old people are.
Oh, is it?
The east side is, Miami, where you went.
That's a hopping place. I'm not gonna lie, I love Miami.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you dance?
No.
Yeah, you can. You dance pretty
I
well.
bet you she was dancing last night.
No, it was more of a
Irish jig.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sidle up to the bar and give me a green beer.
Exactly. Yeah, it was that kind of vibe. Yeah, there wasn't a dance floor, but um, yeah, Miami's fun. I just went there for the first time a couple weekends ago, and I thought it was
For
really great
birthday.
It's
for my
very
birthday. Yeah.
cool. Oh, happy birthday to you too.
So
Thank you.
I'm going to read, just to wrap up here, I'm going to read an excerpt from your book. Do you think you're going to go ahead and finish this at some point? You want some help?
Yes.
Katie will help you.
All right. Sorry, Katie. Joke's on you.
You
She signs me up for things all the time, you know. I'd be happy to help.
I
Just so
love
you know.
it. Set me free. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that title. And this is the part that I like, one of the parts. As people, we are by nature awkward, self-conscious, hormonal, curious, spontaneous, intelligent, and funny. Now add to that any family problems, divorce, abuse, whether verbal or physical, abandonment or death of a sibling. I could keep going. Now think about being young and bullied, dealing with peer pressure and with the demands of school, friends, and sports. It's no wonder we feel displaced or out of balance and even stuck in situations we can't get out of. Thoughts of hiding away, building a wall, running away, or suicide creep in and take over your mind at times. And then you go on to say, now that you have taken a look back at what life calls childhood in many cases, picture this. And then a few short years of existing in this world, and you're now called an adult and still dealing with all the confusion of the earlier unanswered questions. I really like that. And then do you know what freedom to be how you actually are called to be feels? Take a minute. Ask yourself what sets you free. I am here to invite and encourage you through this book to take a journey to find your true, lovable self and to feel that you are good enough. Let's take a step back to when these questions of the heart got erased, covered up, pushed down in your soul so far you forgot they even existed. That is so beautiful. They got erased, covered up, pushed down so far in your soul you forgot they even existed. To be worthy, to be good enough, to be free, to be okay. Yeah. So,
Do you feel like that's where you're at?
Yes. You know, but it comes and goes, you know, where it's a constant, you have to work at it. It's like a half marathon. It's like a 5K, 8K, 10K, whatever it is. It
8K, good, thank you.
8K. Like, it's like you have to just keep doing.
yeah, because the scars are there.
It's there.
The
and
old programs are in your brain because you were a kid, so your brain was formed that way.
Absolutely. And it comes back and it sneaks up on you. Like it's weird. Where you're thinking, I'm trudging along, I'm writing this book. I mean, like I was feeling pretty darn good. I was thin, I was doing all these like and that was like the healthy version of it where I was actually eating, buying the proper shoes, like, you know, just everything, you know. Great job, great, everything was great. And then it just was like, wham, you know, it just blindsided, and I end up losing a house in a swamp. I end up having to move, but then I get a horse. So like, then it was like, then I'm riding and do it. You're like, it's just really weird how it just all spins. But like right now I'm in a where it's slowed down because of the trudge of life and I didn't see it coming, you know? And so I'm kind of trying to get the wheel spinning again right now. You know, I'm heavier than I normally am. And, you know, things like that. But that's the wall. It's, you know, I'm keenly aware of what it is, which is a little more aggravating sometimes because you know exactly what you're doing. It's like, cookie, I can stop eating a cookie. Like it's like called self-control. And literally we have that, you know, it's a choice.
But you don't want to.
It's weird. It's just like, I don't deserve, I don't know. It's like weird. It's like, I can see it happening. Like, it's like literally like putting bricks on a wall. And
Do you ever find it in yourself to forgive yourself for not making the choices that you should be doing, quote unquote?
absolutely. Yeah. That's where I got to the point where I was writing that book, where it was like, you have to forgive yourself. You have to see yourself as this cute little kid that deserved none of this, that didn't deserve to grow up like this, that just, you know. And when I was taught, like when I started to see myself like that, it became much easier to understand that all of this stuff was not me. I mean, it really, you know, I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm blaming others. It's not that. I mean, everybody was in a shit show,
But it wasn't your fault either.
It wasn't. It was generational. My dad was treated like that. Like it's, you know, I don't know where it started, honestly, but Yeah. So
But as a kid, there's no way you could have done
right,
anything different than what you did.
right.
Just survive, basically.
Yeah. And so
Mm-hmm.
to live is something that I used to think that that's what people were doing in front of me at the barn, at the this, at the that, and I was like, see all of this, and I'd be like, that's where I need to be. I want to live. I want to live my life. Like I genuinely want. I don't want to. I'm done surviving. Like
Yes,
I've
yes.
because surviving to me has always been a restart, restart, restart. Like I don't have any classmates that a lot of people have all their classmate friends or their grade school friends or their what. I don't have. I have none of that.
Well, yeah, because you were in a
yeah,
shit show and you dropped out and had
yeah,
to. Yeah.
all of that. So yeah, I'm in a spot where I recognize that I am kind of dropped the eight ball. Whoops, and you know, but it's go time. I'm making better decisions and
Yeah.
things like that because I've got the tools.
You
I
sure
got
are.
the, I do.
You sure are competent in your line of work. I mean,
I love
you're
what I
like a
do.
godsend to me with that house and just like with the barn now. She's going to help with the horses and all that and
Yeah,
just everything. You're just your street smarts is amazing.
yeah,
But you're also tough enough, where
hmm
you don't get walked on,
hmm
you know,
yeah, at all.
especially with
I don't.
males.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ding. Yeah, I'm nice.
you're fair.
I am. I am genuine. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a joke, but yeah, no, I've worked with men for so long in the trades and all of that yeah, it's but I don't take shit
Yeah.
from guys. But I don't go in. I'm also humble. Like I don't go in saying I know how to do it because you learn. You learn. And
Yeah,
life is
you're
learning.
trying to be
Yeah.
fair.
Life is learning. And right now I'm trying to learn how to, learn this version of Sharon as this version of an adult.
Yeah.
Where I am, where life changes, and
And here you are sharing.
hoping I'm helping somebody. I don't know.
Sharing.
I'm not sure if this helps, but I genuinely hope. Like that's really
Oh my
the
gosh, it's
only
helping
reason I'm
me.
here.
Even just hearing like life is like when you hear about like that you're always learning and seeing someone that's like always trying to grow themselves, it always encourages myself to. It's like a reminder. So I mean, if you're looking to help at least one person, I mean, you helped me a little bit just from
Yay.
what you were saying.
Can
So
you tell Taylor that when you see her?
absolutely, I will. I will
I'm
shout it
super.
to her. I'm 11 rows from the stage. So
That's all you're going to be upright in. For
not
sure.
to brag.
No, that's exciting. It really is.
It's very exciting when you get to see like your dream like
Mm-hmm.
artist, so close.
Mine was Elton John.
No, that would be a great show
Isn't he
too.
Oh, he
still
was.
touring?
Yeah.
I saw him last year for the
You
Soldier
did?
Field?
yeah, he was on my.
That's where I'm
bucket,
going for. Yeah, for
Yeah.
Taylor too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an amazing.
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
I-
could see that being a really good show, honestly.
Yeah, that was his last one in the States.
Oh, wow.
And that's another thing is like living without regrets is another thing that you learn as you go because you can't. We all know life is too damn short. Like it just is. I'm 57 for fuck's sakes. Like I'm old. Like I'm like,
Hey.
sorry. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not 25. I'm not 30. I'm not 40. I'm not. And
Am I
it's
40?
well, you look like you're 40.
Thank you.
We're back. And
I might
we're
be closer to 40 than you are, actually. And that's a startling thought. I don't know how I feel about that. But
yeah, but it is. It's about like just living life and adventuring and growing. You just have to keep moving.
And I like the idea of it being like a marathon. Like you have to keep training for life, and that's what this show.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
This show does that for people. It's constantly raising awareness of checking where are you at mentally, physically in life. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you sharing? Because I really think that's where it's at is to share our vulnerabilities with each other.
Yeah.
And because again we all think those horse ladies have everything perfect for them, like just because you're tall and thin and wealthy kind of sucks, but but they don't necessarily they aren't excused the problems in life, because
Right.
of that.
I'm definitely keenly aware of that
Yeah.
now, as you go. But, when you're 15
But when you're a
and that's
kid,
all,
when
yeah,
you're 15, you don't
see
think that at all,
The
yeah.
cousins were all rich. My uncle was rich. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was wealthy and, this and that. So it was just like an
Yeah.
easy, like, it must be better,
yeah.
the
I
green.
thought that about all of my classmates at Libertyville High School because they just seemed more put together than me because I was going through so much with
Yeah.
my brother and all that, and I just always thought, God, they're just so darn perfect. They're so cute and they're
Yeah.
little and whatever, and they called me I had such big legs, they called me Moose.
Oh, I was Thunder Thighs.
What?
Thunder Thighs and horse teeth. Because I got some big teeth.
I think big teeth is a nice look though. Like if people say that, like, oh yeah, but like your smile is like is big. I have little teeth, I feel like, and it's like it shows up nice in pictures and stuff, you know.
My teeth were longer than this, quite a bit. I got them shaved.
Yeah, that's what mine.
Yeah.
I could have used. Was
and
that.
I used to be called Bugs for Bugs Bunny because
Oh.
Wait, shaved?
Yeah,
Yeah,
short and like
filed.
if you looked at mine close, you could see that like if that was done, they'd be like a more normal, maybe normal.
And
there
that
we
doesn't hurt?
Next to normal.
Why does that make me cringe so much? The shaving of the teeth. I can't.
like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, no.
Well,
That's
Sharon, thank you so much. We probably should wrap it up here so Katie doesn't have to edit for hours.
Oh, I
Days and
already
weeks.
do.
Oh, okay.
It's okay though. But we should wrap it up, yes. But thank you so much for coming on. This is I think you've been through a lot and you still are so resilient, and I think our listeners, watchers, whoever can benefit a lot from that.
Relatable.
Yeah, definitely relatable with
Thank you.
the knock knock jokes and shit. I love that. It's so funny.
And the Ferris
Knock
wheel.
knock.
And we found out what the end of the joke was. Who's there?
What is it? Smell mop. What's it? What?
Smell
What?
mop.
Smell mop. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you, smell mop.
Exactly.
Not even finishing the joke.
I'm so confused all the time.
No, that's exactly what it's about. Is that I was always it was just funny. My mom, we were trying to do that with my mom, but
Yeah.
she could not get it. Like the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I get that.
we can just.
Wrap.
You can cut it off whenever you want. We can say that we're done now, right?
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Wait, parade
We're
wave.
done. We're done. I don't want to do
watching.
that.
Elbow, elbow,
Oh,
wrist, wrist.
subscribe to us, blah, 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 whatever.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Oh, lovely day. Lovely day.
If you like what you're seeing, please just subscribe. Follow us, find us on Patreon, support the show, all that stuff, please. Mary cares a lot. She cares more than she says. And cut. Okay.